was so off pitch.
Yeah, I still have our old theme in the mind, and I was like, wait, no, it's different. And we've been using this for 4 weeks now, 3 weeks, I don't know, something like that.
Good morning, Collin.
Good morning.
Happy
It's Tuesday.
I know. Tuesday, rocking and rolling.
For some reason earlier today, I thought it was Friday.
What? Really?
Yeah, because I saw something, or I was reading something from one of the other news services, and they were like, on this meeting Thursday. And I was like, oh, that was just last night. So my mind is like, oh, it's Friday. It's not Friday.
It's okay. Well, it's
being
Tuesday.
very optimistic.
It's Tuesday. We're almost there. We're one day closer to Friday.
Right, there we
that's
go. What? Yeah. 3 more days until the
Collin,
weekend.
you're making me laugh this morning. We were just talking about loops. Fill me in. You went there yesterday, you said?
I did. It's on King Avenue. It's at King and Northwest over in, I guess, the north part of Grandview.
Okay.
Technically, I mean, it's the Columbus-y part of Grandview. But it was featured on Diners, Drive-In, and Dives. But yeah, it's there at... Yeah, King and Northwest.
So what, diner food?
Yeah, no, it's more like gyros and stuff like that. Gyros, Polish sausage, and stuff like that.
Yum.
Yeah, it was actually very good.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah,
well,
loved it.
Awesome. Well, today we're talking about, I mean, obviously the big news happening, but we have a really special guest coming on later at 9:30. She's a mom from Dublin, and she developed an app that basically helps local working parents figure out childcare services, even cleaning services. So she's going to explain Mom Ease and talk to us about all of that and her inspiration behind it.
Because finding especially affordable childcare right now
so
for so many parents is incredibly difficult.
Right. So many working parents are just having one of the parents stay home and not even work because it doesn't make any sense because all that paycheck just goes to childcare.
Yeah.
There's no point. And also Artemis 2, they are officially heading back home to Earth. Back down here. So we're going to have Meredith on here to talk about all that, which will be great. And then we're going to be talking more about Matt Schmidt, who passed away in that fire on Easter Sunday.
Yeah, more memorials continue to pour in for him. Fifth generation of the Schmidt family there. Big cornerstone of German village down there. So continuing to we've got a personal story coming up from Jay Fox on that, as well as hearing from people at the restaurant about his life and legacy.
I know.
But first off, the first thing we want to get to though is we want to briefly touch on Artemis. Of course, we'll hear from Meredith later on that, but we've got a quick look at the map of where Artemis is from NASA right now, and there it is.
Where are they?
So you can see there this little dot, or it's the circle there at Orion, as it's past the moon. So they are still 239,000 miles away from Earth. So they've already gone around and come back. So you can see where the moon is. That loop is where they basically intercepted the
gravity,
moon.
right?
Yeah, and so they are back under the influence of Earth's gravity. But anyway, Meredith will be talking about that coming up at 9:43 this morning.
Yeah.
But what we do want to talk about is data centers.
We spend a
lot of time talking about data centers. Eventually, there will be another big thing that happens in Central Ohio, but now it's data centers.
Right now, it's this. I mean, I feel like I see so many stories now, too. Just AI is taking over everything, and obviously, these are what powers it all.
And more communities are going, maybe, let's pump the brakes. Marysville is one of those right now. So tonight, at a meeting for the Zoning and Planning Commission. Tonight at 7, they're planning to update the zoning language right now in the city codes that it would be a clear rule that governs these large-scale ones, so large facilities, but it would not, so that it would just govern these large ones. It wouldn't prevent smaller private data centers to be built, basically for
local
personal
business use, which I don't really know of any that exist in that capacity. You know what I mean? Because we have Google and the big
internet
Amazon
service providers, but that's about it. Also in Union County, so Marysville, it mainly resides in Union County, but Taylor and Union Townships up there are also looking at hearings to add formal definitions for data centers. So this is continually something that pops up of what do we do about that? So once again, that Marysville meeting, that's at 7 tonight.
Yeah, and then people in Pataskala, they continue to push back. They have a lot of environmental concerns surrounding the data centers that are trying to go up there.
Right.
And they're worried about sound, energy, water, contamination. So just a whole
And
list
in
of
that
things.
case, the developer of that, which is Aligned Data Centers, says that project that's going to bring a big economic benefit to the Pataskala area and create hundreds of jobs. But as you mentioned, the people living in that area say they want more time to consider it. They don't know everything that comes along with it.
And like we've discussed, it takes a lot of people to build these data centers, but once they're up and running, I mean, you only need like a handful of people.
Yeah, it's kind of a minimal amount of staffing. So we also know Hilliard and Asheville are having some discussions and pushback about that. Hilliard's is mainly revolving around the input of diesel generators into the Amazon Web Services one over there. But we also have this map. If Zenobia wants to pull that up. There we go. That shows basically where the location of all the data centers are in Ohio. You can see most of them concentrated here in central Ohio.
I mean, 100 out of the 200 in the state of Ohio are in central Ohio. There's
density
a lot
of those. So coming up in really probably 15 minutes, Jay Fox from the Ohio News Network joins us to talk about some new movement in the ballot initiative, which would regulate these large-scale data centers. Also, another big thing that we talk about a lot is This Week in Boomtown. That comes up. New drop time for This Week in Boomtown. It now drops at 10 p.m. on Fridays instead of 9 right here on 10 TV Plus. A lot of discussion on data centers in that.
Yeah, as people just grow a little more cautious as they keep popping up.
Well, we saw so many show up all at once.
Oh, yeah.
It was like,
just like,
there they are. So now we're
and they're like approaching these landowners, obviously privately. So these discussions are happening kind of behind closed doors, and then they pop up, and people are like, whoa, this is too fast. Right. So Angela will be on Friday, of course, to talk about what's coming up on Boomtown.
All right.
So
let's move over to Whitehall. Whitehall is talking about when to set a special election, a recall election. So this will be discussed tonight at the Whitehall City Council meeting. And it would be setting the special election, the recall election for Mayor Michael Bivens, along with Councilwoman Amy Harkar and Lori Elmore. So they face these recall petitions really starting a couple months ago, and just recently they were approved by the Board of Elections and then approved by the Clerk of Council. And
the interesting tidbit that I have learned from this is that this has already cost the city of Whitehall $40,000. Yeah. That's a lot of taxpayer money.
And then we're now going to have to roll out a special election, which will also fall on the city's pocketbook, basically, to cover. So the deciding factor now is, when is this election going to be? So after it was approved by the Clerk of Council, the Mayor Michael Bivens, along with Councilwoman Lori Elmore and Amy Harkar, they had 5 days to resign once that was approved. If not, then it got pushed to a special election. Well, those 5 days have come and gone. So now that's being discussed. As part of this resolution tonight, it's talking about what days this should and shouldn't be. May 5th, of course, is off the books because what's happening May 5th?
Primary elections, which early voting started today.
Yeah, but we do know this election has to fall sometime between April 30th and May 30th.
Yeah, I think they have their eyes set on May 26th.
Yeah, that is a recommended date right now.
So we'll see. We'll keep monitoring that. Yeah. But this group is, this is all led by the group Whitehall for All.
Whitehall for All, yes. And some of the accusations there have basically revolved around city money and
just not using taxpayer dollars correctly and just driving, quote, political extremists supporting hateful and divisive agendas that apparently are benefiting no one. So that is what Whitehall for All is claiming.
Well, Mayor Michael Bivens has pushed back against that, saying that this is being led by what he's calling political extremists and driving a divisive agenda. So anyway, with that being said, the recall election, we could see none of the three lose their seat because the people of Whitehall will get to decide yes or no. And in the end, they could keep their seats.
So this could all just be money down the drain.
It really could be. If this goes through, Whitehall City Attorney Brad Nicodemus has told 10 TV that the council would then ultimately appoint new replacements. So they would have to replace 2 council members. And then if Mayor Michael Bivens is removed, then that would go to the council president, who currently is Thomas Potter. He's been on the council since, I think, 2020.
Yeah. And just speaking in the realm of elections, today early voting started for the midterm elections, which are May 5th. And I just wanted to pull up, if you're unaware, there's a lot on the ballot this year.
There's a lot.
A lot. And I love just saying this, but these elections matter so much. These are the people that are, dictating a lot of the legislation in our state, and it matters. Everyone always thinks about the presidential election. That's the big one.
But your midterms are a lot.
But your
midterms
midterms are so important. So what's on the ballot? Governor, lieutenant governor. We know Mike DeWine's term is coming up at the end of December. U.S. Senator, big one between Sherrod Brown and then John Husted as well. And then Secretary of State is another another title on the ballot. Attorney General, then just a slew of U.S. Congress districts open, and obviously Ohio Senate districts open as well. And
being your primary, this is you deciding who runs on the party ticket come November.
Right.
You're weeding out all of the other candidates to get one candidate, third party candidate.
I know. I always say, if you don't vote in these elections, the midterm ones, then you can't complain about who wins.
Who's on the ticket in November.
Exactly. You can't.
Yeah. All right. So we've also heard from the director of the Franklin County Board of Elections, Anthony White, about some of the changes that we've seen in Ohio election laws.
The post office estimate a 5 to 7 day turnaround time for us to receive your ballot. So the quicker you get your ballot in hand, the quicker you can return it to us.
So that's important to remember, because Ohio changed mail-in ballot laws in the past year. So your ballot has to be in the hands of the Board of Elections by close of polls on Election Day. Otherwise, it does not count.
Right. It's kind of like filing your taxes. Do it sooner rather than later.
Right. So, make it up, get it sent in, do that.
Yeah, but we already talked to some early voters today, so take a listen.
I love to early vote. I love going down to the center at Franklin County because it's really quick and easy.
Yep, just get it done.
Yeah, I've always early voted. I mean, because we're here on Election Day.
I'm an absentee voter.
Interesting.
I kind of like it because you can kind of just take it at your own pace, and you know what I mean.
That's fair. But yeah, I always vote early just because I'm here. I never know if I'll have the chance or time to go. So I typically go pretty early in the season and get it done. Just out the door I go. It's always fast. It's super fast, and they're lovely up there at the Board of Elections.
Yeah, they are very nice and helpful. So, okay, coming up, we have Jay Fox with the Ohio News Network. He's talking about data centers.
Yeah, the new update in the data center
whole slew of things across the state of Ohio. So we'll be right back after 2 minutes. Welcome back to The Big Picture. Jay Fox with us this morning.
Good morning and belated happy Easter to both of you.
Thank
I didn't
you.
see you yesterday because I was off.
Yeah,
you
did
got
you
down.
enjoy your time?
I spent a lot of time with Collin, and we ate too much.
That's true. All right, so we want to touch back up on the data center thing. So the initiative basically banning large-scale data centers seems to be moving forward to a degree. There's an update, kind of.
So, have you heard of the banana principle?
No, enlighten us.
Build absolutely nothing around anything. There are a group of people who are in Southwest Ohio in Brown and Adams County that simply do not want this to happen. And what they were able to do is to get the Ohio Ballot Board to approve a petition drive for a proposed constitutional amendment in the state of Ohio to ban data centers, but not just any data centers. These are the gigantic data centers that consume more than 25 megawatts of electricity each month. I can't conceive of how much power that is.
It's several, tens of thousands of homes.
Yeah, something like that. But when you say 25, it doesn't sound like such a big deal.
But it's a lot.
But it's a
You know.
big deal.
Right.
So what's the problem? The problem is environmental concerns, specifically runoff water, because you have to cool these data centers. Then there's concern about power usage. Will all of those data centers suck power away, especially in some of these rural counties where if you get a storm and the power goes out, the priority may not be your house, the priority may become the data center. Also, property owners are concerned that their property values may either decline significantly or go to a point of inaffordability for new housing. And then there's agricultural concerns because a lot of these data centers are taking up farmland where we grow, as we know. What's our number 1 and 2 crops? We'll have a quiz.
Soybeans.
And corn. Exactly. So what they have to do is they have to collect 413,000 signatures from at least half of the 88 counties. So 45 or more counties in the state of Ohio, and they've only got till July 1st to do it.
Yeah.
They gotta
So
get
That
to work.
seems
3
like
months.
a daunting task.
It does
So
seem like
it's a
lot.
major hurdle to clear,
Right.
You know, because even though they've basically, there was the chance they were going to separate this amendment into multiple pieces, but it will stay the same now. So if they had separated it, that would have doubled that signature amount at least.
And it's
depending
hard
on
to
how
get
many times-
signatures these days.
so-
Well, absolutely. And you think about the totality of that 413,000. That's not easy, especially given that what is that? 2.5 months, maybe less.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good
So,
luck.
and I mean, the other side of that comes down to the money generation that these bring into local communities. There was a study by the Ohio Chamber of Commerce Research Foundation that the data center industry contributed about $1 billion to state and local tax revenues in 2024. At that point, not all of that was a direct contribution. About $260 million was. So
There are pros and cons on each side of the argument, and it just depends upon what benefit
Right.
you might see personally.
What does it do
or-
to me?
Correct. What does it do to me?
But a lot of these people that live in these rural communities, they moved out there for a reason.
Yes, the
They don't
banana
wanna-
principle. That's what we
Yes,
started
they don't,
with.
I know. They don't want to be around these. So
No.
we'll see what happens.
Keep on moving.
All right. So the other story that we've been talking about since yesterday morning is the passing of Matt Schmidt.
That was
one of
sad.
the, really, I don't know, basically the patriarch of
Yeah,
the current,
I mean, I
Schmidt's.
used to work at Schmidt's. I was a host, and I worked there when I was in college, which was in the 80s and 90s. See, I refuse to say how old I am. But I knew Matt when he was a kid. So when I worked there, he was maybe 6, 7 years old, and he was larger than life at that time, a very precocious kid. And I have one memory where I think it was either his mom or his dad, I can't remember, but they put one of the cream puffs on a plate, and he actually took that to a patron himself. And everyone's like, oh, and he was just a great guy. And he was 5th generation, which would make him George's great-great-grandson, I believe, something like that.
Yeah.
And he was the face of Schmidt's. And this is not, we're always sad when people die. This is one of those where you actually knew the guy. If you'd ever been to Schmidt's, you knew the guy. And What's even more devastating is he leaves behind a wife and 3 kids.
I know.
Yeah.
It really is upsetting.
It is.
And just shocking. I mean, Easter Sunday for that
I
fire
know.
to happen, it's horrible.
But coming up in just a bit, we heard from some of the employees at the restaurant along with patrons. That's what we're going to be talking about next.
There's one woman who had been there as long ago as I was there, and she's also going to comment. Now, I've got to get something in before we go away. The Cleveland Cavaliers, 142 over Memphis Grizzlies, 126, and they did it without their stars, Donovan Mitchell and James Harden. See, I'm filling in for Tyvis right now because, of course, I anchor Ohio Sports Magazine every week. Now, what is significant about this? The bench played. So Evan Mobley, 24, Derek Schroeder, 22, no Mitchell, no Harden, and they beat a Memphis Grizzlies team that set the NBA record for the most amount of three-point shots made in a game. Any idea how many they made without looking at my paper?
I can't see.
No idea.
I can't see.
29 in one game. That's insane.
Wow.
Yes. Come on, Cavs. Make it happen.
All right. So we'll be
Jay,
right back.
thank you so much.
Always
Thanks
a
for coming
pleasure.
in. Welcome back to The Big Picture. So we are going to continue that conversation about the passing of Matt Schmidt.
I love how Jay worked there at Schmidt's.
You know, there's a lot of people who have pretty close personal memories to us. Our former evening anchor, Angela Pace, has some personal memories there. I remember her telling us, you know, that's where I got the anecdote of, you know, that was where you take people for your first
That's
date
so
is
funny.
because of the cream puffs. So that was an Angela Pace story.
I've never heard that until you told me.
Yeah.
And I'm from here.
Yeah, so
That's cool, though.
Angela Pace can tell you all about it.
I told my husband, I was like, I need to take you Saturday, I think.
Yeah.
But anyway, I mean, just the outpour of support for
Absolutely.
His wife and his 3 daughters who are, you know, survived this fire has been incredible to watch. I mean, the GoFundMe has raised over $100,000 now for them. And Carla did a wonderful story yesterday speaking to some of the employees at Schmidt's just about how shocking and upsetting and just how he was so magnetic. Everyone who met Matt knew he had this larger than life personality and he loved life. You just really like got that feeling from him. And so this is just, people are upset.
Now I'm going to start to cry. He brought the fun to everything. We would get each other's inside jokes when we were sitting in meetings. Fiercely passionate about Schmidt's, being a Schmidt. He was so proud of his family and all that Schmidt's means to the community.
Yeah, people are still reeling from this news. I mean, it just happened Easter Sunday.
Right.
So.
But there has been that outpouring of support. There's been, $100,000 raised on a GoFundMe for the family. And the cause of the fire is still under investigation. As Jay mentioned, probably some of the hardest part of this is that he leaves behind 3 children and his wife right now. So
they all got out of the house safely.
Yeah.
Just so sad.
The cause of that fire is still under investigation, obviously. So
we're going to do a hard right turn
Very
now.
hard pivot.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about gas prices. So that they took another jump.
11 cents since yesterday for the average in Ohio. But diesel prices are just soaring.
Yeah, these are gasoline prices. So your standard unleaded, your 87, So in Franklin County, you're going to pay about $3.90. I saw a couple of places I think I've seen around town back into the 380s, upper 370
Yesterday
cents.
it was like 372.
Yeah.
Which is better than this. But
yeah, I think I saw
I know. That's what I'm saying.
So, I was going to say, I think just the other day I saw like 372 at the get-go at on 5th. But so statewide average, you're going to pay about 386. Nationally, 414. Obviously, some states paying much more than that, $5 plus. But diesel fuel prices well into the $4 range, if not $5 at this point.
And over the night, Israel, they bombed one of the petrochemical plants, which is responsible for 85% of like refining the crude oil that's made over there in Iran. And that goes towards medicines that we make, plastic bags, stuff like that. So we're really going to start seeing an impact.
And there's a new deadline tonight in regards to the war in Iran. The president has issued basically reopen the Strait of Hormuz, where we've talked about a fifth of the country's oil, or not the country's, world's oil comes from, or else, which threatening to bomb civilian infrastructure, which is a large step that we've continued to follow and talk about. So also this Friday, we have the new consumer price index coming out, which is the first time since the beginning of this war.
And so we're really going to be able to see those numbers and see kind of just how the war is financially impact all sorts of things. And one of those things, I mean, just flights in general.
Yes.
We were talking about that today. And it's ironic because Breeze Airlines just announced today as well this morning that they have all these new $59 one-way flights to select locations, kind of on the East Coast. But that's only for one way. You still got to pay for your way back.
Yeah.
$59 one way is
return tickets much more.
Exactly.
But airlines right now aren't seeing that jump yet because they buy basically for the future. They lock in a price and then buy in the future and then it comes in. But eventually that runs out.
Yeah.
So that's when you start seeing those upticks because as Katie Nastro from going.com had told us that fuel is really one of the airline's largest expenses. That and basically like fleet maintenance. So eventually you'll start seeing that. Basically the recommendation is if you have summer travel plans, go ahead and book your flights before it's too late. So there is that. So
yeah, and that deadline President Trump said was going to be 8 p.m. Eastern before he starts attacking energy sites and bridges in Iran. So that's in about, under 12 hours at this point. So we'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens. This deadline's been extended 3 times.
Right.
So we could see another extension.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. Well, coming up, we have a creator, founder, and mom from Dublin who invented an app helping working parents figure out childcare. And she's on here to talk to us about her new app, Mommies. So we'll be right back in 2 minutes.
All right, welcome back to the Big Picture here
Yes.
on 10 TV Plus. A pretty exciting development when it comes to finding help when it comes to childcare, really.
Right. It's a really it's a topic at the mind of a lot of parents, like, you know, the topic at the top of their minds because they're trying to work, they're trying to juggle everything, and it's hard. But joining us right now, Jenna Redfern, you are the creator, founder of Mom Ease, and it's a new app that you've launched like last month here in Central Ohio. Just take us, well, I want to preface this with we first connected about a year ago when I was reaching out to parents to talk about Governor DeWine's new child tax credit program. And basically you were like, it's not enough money. It's about $1,000 a year. And you're like, that doesn't cover anything for childcare costs, right?
Yeah, nowadays it's really hard. First of all, I want to say thank you for having me.
Of course.
I've been so excited to be here. And childcare is a big issue right now, especially for moms, because the burden kind of falls on them. And do they want to stop working because daycare is almost unaffordable for most families? So my app is a brand new app that just launched last month to all of Columbus and the surrounding cities, where moms can offer care as a form of income, or they can find care by hiring a mom.
Okay.
So it gives them options. They can offer or receive childcare, pet care, house cleaning, or last minute care.
Wow, that's amazing. So when did this idea first pop into your mind to develop this app?
If I'm being completely honest, I was just like, I wish I could double myself.
Yeah.
Because moms get it. They understand the stress, the responsibility, putting things first, multitasking. They're just like amazing at organizing things. And I mean, they don't think twice about doing something another mom would. It just comes natural.
I've known so many people around our age that one of the parents has to step away from working because they, you know, in the grand scheme of things, childcare has become so expensive that it's basically eating up one person's entire income. So they go, well, I might as well just stay home and do this. But that's not a decision that is made lightly and one that not everyone wants to make.
And that's what my app is designed completely for moms. You can pick your own rate, your own schedule, your own services you offer. You can offer some support, then you can change it and only want to find support. So if you need like a date night sitter, if you want to offer in-home daycare, you can do it all in the app.
Wow. How many children do you have?
I have 3.
Okay, so your hands are full.
Yes, I have a 13-year-old, a 7-year-old, and a 2-year-old.
Okay.
So they're all over the board.
Wow. And did you walk away from your job to stay home with the kids?
I did.
Okay. What was
because
that decision like?
It was hard. It's like the fulfillment of being out in the world and working is really like nice just to get that adult time. And sometimes when you don't get that, being a stay-at-home mom, I think is the hardest job there is.
You've got
bet.
a lot to juggle.
Yeah, a lot to juggle.
I mean, it's incredible for the parents who do this.
Yeah. I think a lot of people don't realize how much responsibility raising a child is. They're your little mirror. So you want to be the best version of yourself because you're growing up the next version of humans. Like you need to be, you know, happy, relaxed, like, and moms sometimes sacrifice their own me time just to not have to pay a sitter. And I don't want that. I want moms to get on here, help each other out, and build a great community together.
And when it comes to, I mean, once you become a parent, like your focus is keeping my child safe. You always want to do that. So for moms or parents who turn to your app and have questions about, okay, are these other people I'm reaching out to, how do I know that they're safe? How are we keeping some of those guardrails in place?
Yes, that's a great question. And I thought about that too. And everyone has to go through a mandatory background check within the app. So once you get on the app, you download it, all inside the app, you go through a background check. Once it's cleared, then you're able to pick your membership. There's a monthly, a quarterly, and a yearly membership you can choose from, and then you're on.
What are the costs of that? That's for the background check.
There is a cost for the background check, and then you pick your membership. So each is separate. Like, so you first pay for your background check, and then you wait, make sure you clear it, and then you can pick your membership fees.
What was it like developing this technology? I mean, did you ever think you would be an app creator?
No, I didn't. I never thought that, but it seems so natural because I have a lot of connections and I found really great people to help me with all of this. I can't say it was just me. I have an amazing team behind me helping me with all of this. I have a great tech team. like friends, family came together and helped me with this a lot.
Absolutely. I mean, how many years did this take you though?
2.
2 years.
Yeah. And
Wow.
the person behind everything really motivating me was my husband.
Aw.
But he came from a single mom, so he understands this in a whole different aspect.
Right, because single parents out there, they're juggling all of it. And it's hard not to have that extra person to lean on. Not extra, but that partner to lean on.
Yeah.
when it comes
Another
to parenting.
income.
Yeah.
Income's a big thing as well with all of that.
Yeah.
So what has the response been so far?
I've done a lot of shows in state and even out of state, just kind of preparing to open up to different areas, and everyone loves it. They're so excited. They're like, where was this 14 years ago? I'm like, I know, right?
I know that's what my mom says about when you can pull up and just have like Giant Eagle load your groceries in for you. She's like, where was this when I had my 3 children? It's
Oh, I
like
know.
something like that. You know what I mean? So the response has been positive. Are there any tweaks you're still trying to work out throughout this like launch period?
Small things, like every week we're adding new features, and some of them are like reviews, so moms can get ratings and reviews by other moms, so other moms can see they've been used already and feel even more comfortable. Just little things to make it an even better experience.
Okay.
I mean, now that so many people have moved away from maybe where they grew up, they don't have the extended family support. Having something else to turn to is critical. I mean, being able to have somebody that you can call up and be like, hey, I need a hand.
Did you ever have your children in any daycare?
I actually worked in a daycare as
you
a teen.
Okay.
So I really love this idea so much
Yeah.
because I got to grow up watching kids and I love every age, but I fortunately didn't have to use daycare. I kind of scrambled when I was a single mom using my mom when she was in town. I don't have any family in town, which is partly why I developed this too, because we don't have easy access to sitters all the time.
Yeah.
We just
Right.
sacrificed our time, our date nights to just take care of our kids, because to us that's the most important.
Yeah. Can you walk us through the cost of the memberships?
Oh yeah, so the monthly is the highest, being
Okay.
$24.99. The quarterly is $19.99, and the yearly breaks it down to $149.99. So
That's amazing pricing.
Yeah, so-
That's low. I mean, the average price for a week's worth of daycare is $1,400, right?
yeah, and the good thing about mommies is you can set your own rate and you can set what you're looking for, and then they can talk to each other. We don't have any input in your payment. It's all between each other. We have no connection. They're not.
Wow. And you pay through the app, but you don't Venmo or cash, or is that an option?
They decide.
Oh,
However
okay.
they want to pay each other,
Okay.
whatever works for them. We're not any part of that. We just connect them.
Wow.
So the app is live currently, though, in the
Yep.
what is it, the Apple App Store and the Android Google Store?
Google Play
Yeah.
an app, yeah, and you can actually download it. And sometimes your background checks can clear as quickly as 20 minutes. Some take 3 days if you've lived a lot of different places. So
How did you come up with the name Mom Ease?
I love
loved
it.
it.
It's a wonderful play.
it's a
I
play
know.
on words. I thought it was cute, mommies, a bunch of moms getting together. But then it's also it eases moms' lives.
Yeah.
So.
Wonderful. Jen, thank you so much for coming on today.
Thank you guys so much.
Congratulations, because I know you've been working on this for a really, really long time.
Yeah, I'm really excited to be here and have this day happen.
Yeah. All right, guys, we'll go download the app if you're looking for extra help. Awesome. Well, thank you. We'll be right back in 2 minutes.
Welcome back to The Big Picture. We are continuing to talk about Artemis.
I love talking about Artemis. I think it's so cool. And we heard from them for the first time today as they actually looked at the moon with their own eyes, describing it as brown. I mean, I just probably experiencing that is so surreal. What do you think, Meredith?
I mean, I feel like I was driving to work this morning and maybe some of you felt the same and you looked up and saw the moon and were thinking, oh my gosh, I have chills. We have
literally
astronauts
thought about that too.
Literally going around the moon right now. And I mean, you can't see them, but it's just to think that they were on the other side of the moon and we were looking up to it. I mean, this is part of our history.
It is.
Kids are going to read about this in textbooks now for years to come. I mean, look at these images coming in. I mean, you're seeing the craters and this high definition like we've never seen before. I mean, they're just their stories that they were telling.
There it is.
I mean,
really, HD looking to me.
And it looks like all the models that they've had of it. Right now, we're actually getting confirmation. We're learning about the geological make of the moon. The astronauts were up there. And, we actually were able to hear how they describe the moon. And I think this is something that's just going to give you chills.
Oh,
Yeah, let's cue that up.
Oh,
Zenobia.
This is
It's
great.
52.
It's worth
Yeah.
waiting for. It's so good.
It's just fascinating here. It's so cool. The more I look at the moon, the browner and browner it looks. There are little islands. There are islands of terrain out there that are completely surrounded by darkness.
Yeah, what Victor had to say about describing the craters
Islands?
as little islands. I thought that was interesting, but they are completely surrounded by darkness. And it's kind of like, why?
Well, and you think about it too, that they had about 40 minutes they could not communicate with Earth. So they were literally up there in the darkness.
Was that
with
planned?
Yes, it is
Oh, okay,
planned.
okay.
So what
I
happens
didn't know if that
is
was an accident.
No.
Okay.
That was all planned. They knew it was going to happen. So basically, think about it when we talk about a radar, for example, when we send out a signal, there's something blocking the radar, so it bounces off or it can't go through it. That's the same thing with the moon. The moon's made of rock, right? And so these signals that we send, it's called NASA's Deep Space Network, and it's kind of like a satellite, communicating from Earth to space. It can't get through the moon, and so for 40 minutes while they were making that journey, they had to wait until they could get just outside of the moon enough so that the signal could come and connect with them. So
Wow.
but I imagine it's kind of peaceful too, right? I think I read that Victor said he was sitting there and he said a prayer and was like, okay, we're going to do this. Everything's okay. We just can't talk to Earth. I can't even imagine though, just
Because,
the
the
rush.
Apollo astronauts went through it as well, and so that's how we knew this was was going to happen. Were those initial space flights, because it obviously happened then. But
And the technology is a lot better now, but still we have those restrictions. And I think when people just know about it, I mean, another thing that they weren't talking about was they actually named a crater. Commander Reed Wiseman's late wife, Carol, passed away from cancer during COVID in 2020. And when they saw the crater, I mean, you could hear, if you go online, him just saying we're naming this after Carol. This is Carol's crater.
yeah, it was actually a really, really sweet moment to kind of hear. So I'll have Zenobia pull back up the trajectory here again towards the
right.
top.
Look at that view. I mean, we saw the solar eclipse. I mean,
So
this
was
is
that eclipse
nothing
that
like
they
that.
got that lasted a lot longer than what we have. So this is kind of a mock-up of what happened overnight. But if you go back up to what we showed earlier at the top of the show, there you go.
I mean, wow.
They've already gone around the moon. The moon is on its way back around. But now we are coming back to Earth. And it's going to take a couple days.
Yes, I mean, they're slated to splash down on Friday, and I know some people are like, whoa, that happened so fast. I mean, 10 days. It was last Wednesday, so a week ago tomorrow when they officially launched, and it went off on time. So now the next couple of days, what's going to happen is they're just going to be cruising back. They're in the Earth's gravitational pull, so that's going to help pull them back in. And then the big challenge is going to be coming back through the atmosphere, the heat shield. I mean, a lot of questions on that. There was a lot of controversy on that. And so, I mean, NASA's pretty confident that they're going to be good. The heat shield's going to deflect everything as it's supposed to do, and they'll be able to have a safe landing. And we were actually able to talk to the flight director who's in Ohio, and it's his job. Rick Henfling is going to be guiding them back in. I mean, I can't even imagine. We get responsible for putting a newscast together. Can you imagine having to say, okay, you're coming through, and if we lose connection, I'm going to have to tell you to deploy your parachutes. Worst case scenario.
So he is the only person contacting them as
he has
that?
a team.
Okay.
He's the lead of the team, and so he's going to
Wow.
be communicating. But he says they went through rigorous training. So worst case scenario, and I don't even want to talk about it, but just to give you an idea, they are trained where if something happens, like they have an escape plan in place. So.
Right. And I mean, because if I remember right, we also do lose radio contact
Yes,
in reentry
correct.
as well because of all the
Everything happening.
ionosphere and all the
It's crazy.
disturbance in electronics that happens.
That just goes to show all the training they did. They trained for the best case scenario, but you also have to train for the worst case scenario. Just like firefighters do their
Yeah.
training, they have to prepare for if they have to shelter in place. Our astronauts are ready to go. They're trained for the worst case scenario, but we're hoping it's as smooth of an entry as it was heading out into space.
And all of this, sorry.
Go ahead.
You want to ask your question?
Oh, I was just going to say, this all sets us up for
Right, the next
another
mission.
and then
Yeah.
another mission. I mean, we've got, 3 basically, or this one plus 2 more scheduled out.
2029, they want to be on the moon, right?
They, by the end of this decade, want to be on the moon. So to be safe, they're going to, instead of just going from this to getting them up there, they're going to do another test in low Earth orbit within the next year. And then when they're ready, actually get them to go up there. And I believe it's a 2-week mission that they're going to be doing science experiments on the moon. They're going to learn about living up there. They're going to be doing so many things that we weren't able to do back in the 70s when we initially went to the moon the last time. So it's exciting. The next couple of days, though, actually tomorrow will be a good time for that to talk about it as well. Is they're going to be, as they're flying around, they're going to be communicating with the International Space Station. So they're going to be talking with the astronauts up there, some of their friends. So that's going to be another historic milestone as they come home.
Right. And they're getting rid of the International Space Station, right? They're retiring
They
that?
are. They're retiring at the end of this decade. And as we had on a couple weeks ago with John Horick and the team over at Ohio State University, they have the Star Lab, which is kind of getting that next International Space Station ready. And they're working on getting that built so that they can launch it by the time the other one's getting moved out. And then our students here at Ohio State will be working with some of the best minds in the country to do research and see what they can accomplish through this next space station once it's up and running.
Because the current ISS is about 30 years old now.
Yes, it's got some decades
It's
under its
late-
That's
belt.
kind of
Late
crazy to
90s.
think about. Wow.
Yeah.
Thought
It's
it was
done
younger
well.
than that.
Yeah, well, I was here.
But
Collin, it's as old as us.
it's like, because I mean, that was one of those things. It's like the shuttles were so instrumental in
Right.
taking pieces up for this.
Right.
And obviously we've retired the shuttles now and we're back to capsules, which is so, it's like full circle moment of
And
we're
it's
back to
cargo.
capsules the
Now
same
they're
way we were doing
creating
things
these cargo
years ago.
ships. Now they're taking these cargo rockets, which just carry the pieces up there. But it sounds like from what Voyager Space is going to be doing is they're going to have it in bigger parts, so it's not going to be as many trips. So then they can get it up there and lock it in. I mean, this sounds like movies we watched as a kid.
I know. It's so exciting to watch play out in real time. We're so blessed to be able to watch history like this. It's
This
amazing.
is amazing. And like I said, the splashdown will be big, and then it's going to be, them processing what they came back with. We're going to get to see the images. If you haven't seen the image today, I just put it on my social media, but the first picture of the moon set, so the moon setting yesterday that they took, that's actually out there now. And it's amazing if you go back and compare it to decades ago when Bill Anders had the first picture of the moon rise, the famous picture we've seen of the Earth way off, very tiny, and the moon. So if you haven't seen that picture, it's incredible. If you guys can get it by the end of the show to show the viewers, I mean, it just gives you chills and think about the history we're seeing right now.
And I love how they've had all these older astronauts like recording messages for the team up there. Have you heard some of that like sound from like someone from Apollo gave them a message?
Yes.
And I just think it's all like kind of full circle moments for these people.
I mean, so,
You got it pulled up?
All right, guys, look at here. So I'm going to let you
Oh,
know
there
what
it
we're seeing.
is.
Yep, this right here for you on your screen. Again, I want to make sure I get the facts on this. This is the view of what the NASA Artemis crew captured on April 6, 2026 on their journey around the moon. Now, this is a flashback to the historic Earthrise. That was the picture taken by astronaut Bill Anders, if you remember, 58 years ago. This is our new version. And, I was looking at the former one and the one now. It's amazing. It's just more crisper now. It's more detailed. And so this is our generation having that moon moment.
Yeah, that's a beautiful photo. Wow. Puts in
never gonna
perspective
look.
just how tiny we are.
I know. And you see how tiny it is. You think of what a big planet we are. And I mean,
What's this?
This is just another picture of the moon.
Oh, wow.
I mean,
the dark side?
This is
Wow.
real. I mean, we only dreamed of this. And I'm sure the Apollo astronauts, back Apollo 13, even Apollo 7, they wanted to see something like this. And now we're getting these pictures, just like with the James Webb Space Telescope, some of these galaxies we're finally able to see. There's so much happening, and we're part of this. And there's going to be jobs for everybody to be part of missions like this in the future. So something just to think about. I'm going to try to bring some more guests on in the coming weeks to talk about what we're doing here in Central Ohio to really promote the space program, and how you could be a high school graduate in trade school, or you could be a PhD master's student, and there's room for everybody in space.
And like I said this morning, this is a good excuse for teachers out there when their students go,
Yes.
well, when am I ever going to use this in math class?
Well, you could go to the moon. And
because
maybe.
there's a whole bank of mathematicians at NASA that do all these calculations.
But we need electricians, we need plumbers, we need welders. You know, there's those trade skills that if you have that, maybe you don't want to go to college. You could go to a trade school and say, someday I want to be a plumber, because remember, the space toilet needed fixed, so that could be your future job someday. You could go up and fix toilets on the space station.
That's awesome. Meredith, thank you so much for coming on today. We appreciate it. All right, we'll be right back in 2 minutes. Hello, welcome back to the Big Picture. We're almost done for this Tuesday.
We are.
We got
but
5 minutes
before
left.
we go, we've got to talk about
NWSL.
the National Women's Soccer League.
Coming to town, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. The city is trying to get people on board with this.
There was a public hearing yesterday, and there were some very mixed reviews about this.
Yeah, it was not firmly one-sided or another. There was a lot of feelings about this.
It's interesting because I'm like, I don't know. I feel like we have a men's soccer team, so why not have a women's? But that's just my opinion. But I understand where other people are coming from, talking about this $25 million that is going to be used towards building this team and the facility and everything that goes with that could be used for other resources that are really needed within our community.
Right. And it's probably important to note that this bid for the NWSL is part of the city's Ignite Her program that they unveiled earlier this year.
Right, and it's to bring women's sports to Columbus and make Columbus a hub for all of that.
Right, because there was also chatter months ago about bringing in a professional women's basketball team. But, I don't know where that all went. But now we're on to soccer. We're talking about soccer now.
We're moving on to soccer.
And that's something that Kristen McFarland joined us to talk about yesterday because she has played professional soccer herself. However, anyway, we're going to go to that hearing from last night.
Yeah, so this is someone who was for the NWSL. She briefly spoke. I want to play that for you.
Let's not talk about supporting women. Let's invest in them. Let's build infrastructure for them.
Okay, so she's obviously referring to the let's build the infrastructure, let's build the training facility, let's invest that $25 million into this women's soccer team. And then, some people are against it. Take a listen.
There are a lot of opportunities for other types of capital development that's not happening, and that $25 million could be spent in better ways.
Yeah, and I was listening in a little bit briefly yesterday to that live because I like to do that in my free time.
Wow.
But I know. But some women were saying, how is this going to help the girls in the Hilltop have better resources? So there were very valid points made on kind of both sides of the aisle about this. And Shannon Hardin, though, he is in support of this. Take a listen.
A good deal that allows for us to bring, or at least be very competitive, to bring national women's soccer to Columbus while also protecting Columbus taxpayers.
So that's Shannon Hardin, president of Columbus City Council, talking on that.
Yeah.
But
so he seems to be in support for it, but we'll have to keep monitoring that because it's a possibility. What's Novia? Come on over here. Come here, girl.
Sorry.
Talking to the microphone so they can hear you.
I turned 3 on, so.
Okay,
right,
good.
thank you.
We'll get her in here.
Here's Zenobia. She's our producer.
Yes.
Welcome to your on-camera debut.
All right, what do you want to say?
I should add about Shannon Hardin is his whole thing is he wants people that are going to these sporting events to be the ones paying for it.
Right.
So the taxes would be from people that are already going to this.
To the men's soccer games, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is why he
games.
keeps saying he wants to protect taxpayers because he understands how controversial it is.
Right.
Which I think is where the rub has been, is how are they going to fund it and not make it seem like they're overfunding sports, where there's funding for other things as well.
Yeah. Thank you, Zenobia.
So, yeah,
and while we have you here, what do you think about Buc-ee's opening up?
I've never been to one, but I would make the trip.
Absolutely.
I've got to go to Indiana this weekend. I have a wedding in Indianapolis.
Oh my gosh, you're going to go through Hoover Heights?
I will drive by it. I don't know if I will stop.
Can you make a vertical video for us?
Here we go.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
You have to.
Here it is. There's Buc-ee.
Did you hear there was a proposal?
That's
at the
crazy.
yesterday?
That's insane.
Oh my goodness. No, so this is located in Huber Heights. So yeah, if you're going to Indianapolis, you said you're going to Indy, right?
Yeah, I'm going to Indy, so I'll drive right through it.
Yeah, you're going to drive right through it. And you got to get some, what is it, buck nuts?
No.
Or
Beaver nuggets.
Beaver nuggets. Did I just make up a name?
Yeah.
Buck nuts.
Trademark it before Buc-ee's
All right,
does.
I deserve a penny for every time a future buck nut sold.
I don't know about that. What is a beaver nugget, though? I don't understand.
So I thought it was just like chicken nuggets. It's not. It's evidently like a coated nut.
Yeah.
There's something inside of it?
Yeah, Tracy was telling me all about that. So
Well, we must go.
They also have
And
like
get
alligator toes, which is like
What?
fried garlic. Maybe it's a southern thing.
Yeah, that
I
seems
wouldn't
like-
bite into that, but go to Buc-ee's. You can
actually
find
fried
really
breakfast
interesting
would be
food.
great.
I wouldn't hate.
Oh my gosh. I don't know.
Wait, I have a Buc-ee's t-shirt I got in Texas. I'm going to bring it tomorrow.
Have you been?
I've been, yeah.
Did you get the brisket sandwich? That's
I
what
did.
everyone
I
says.
tried
Yeah, I was going to
that.
say Tracy says the brisket
Yeah.
sandwiches are so good.
It's pretty fire. But what I liked most about Buc-ee's was there's just like a whole little store. You can buy like cute things like clothes with Buc-ee's
Okay.
face on it. I
That's
mean,
like the Cracker Barrel store.
Yes, exactly. It's
Love
fun.
that as a kid.
But like, there's definitely it was needed in Huber Heights, especially for the trips to Indy.
And that's not the, well, that's all the time we've got. We're actually out of time. So
well,
we'll
that's
see you
it,
tomorrow.
guys. We'll see you tomorrow.
With her shirt.